Broadcasting to you live from the Orion spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy, the solar system planet Earth, North America, the United States of America, somewhere outside of a courtroom that just sentenced Antifa to massive penalties for their attacks. My name is Brian Engelman. Today is Wednesday, June 24, 2026. And this right here, the thing that you're watching, is called the TNAM Daily Show here on the new American media, because the old American media has failed you. We're going to talk about the Antifa attacks and the Antifa sentencing. We're going to talk about the lunatics who have been selected in the Democrat primary in New York. Are you paying attention to what's happening? You should. You should be paying attention. They're democratic socialists, but they're the good kind. There is no good kind of socialist or Marxist or Stalinist or Leninist, communist. I mean, fill in the blank. Charity is a wonderful thing. Compulsory charity turns into a lot of a bad thing. Much like many things left unchecked, if you don't pay attention to your health day by day by day by day, you'll wake up a few months later and you'll be a mess. If you don't pay attention to your government day by day by day by day, it gets a little worse and then it's unrecognizable. Ask England. You don't need to go to England. Look at America. Look at how things have changed. Not for the better. But a lot of things are changing for the better now. But as Tulsi Gabbard said yesterday, the deep state is fighting us every step of the way. Todd Blanche gets in there, Office of Director of National Intelligence, and guess what? He fires several people that Tulsi put in there immediately. What did she do? She was with the World Economic Forum, I believe. She went to a thing. She was one of their ambassadors or recruited early. Was she trustworthy? Was she somebody really working on the Trump agenda, or somebody just taking up space trying to run out the clock? I don't know. Curious what you think about it. But regardless, there has been a change. So we'll see how that goes. Also, President Trump is not doing anything anymore until the Save America Act passes. Isn't that the way it's supposed to be? John Thune is not getting the job done. So, things are getting ramped up. We're getting closer and closer to election time. It's June 24, July, August, September, October, November. We're 5 months away, folks. We have to get a grip on our voting system. And for joining us today, we ask that you get a grip on the show by smashing the like button. Share the show with a friend. If you like being a part of this group, hanging out here at the bar, my name's Brian. I'm the bartender. We're going to talk about the stories on the screen behind me. Those stories are going to include the stories that we share on the New American Media on Instagram and X. So follow the New American Media on Instagram and on X at American_media_. But if you like what's going on, if you appreciate this content, we are just like PBS, funded by viewers like you. It's true. And so right here up on the screen at the bottom, you can see our donation links. Maybe today's the day you go, you know what? I'm going to become a monthly subscriber. I've got 5 on it. Do. Alert from Google YouTube. You just sang a couple moments of I got 5 on it, so we're going to steal your revenue from today's program and give it to the ASCAP BMI royalties for the whoever wrote I got 5 on it. Yeah, that's the type of crap we have to battle, along with the mass censorship and the demonetization and the shadow banning, of course, that I've talked about at length. But the way that we keep our lights on here at this fine establishment, this bar, Patreon, Rumble, YouTube, become a monthly subscriber. Just type in your credit card. It tells you what they will do, and what they will do is they'll charge you once a month, $5 or $10 or $100, whatever you can do. It's all super appreciated. But if you want to do a one-time, it's Rumble Rant Tips and Super Chat Tips. Venmo Cash App is my name, Brian Engelman, and PayPal is fuzzinstallment@yahoo.com. Once again, special thanks to Bob France for letting me guest host his program, Strictly Speaking Unfiltered with Bob France, yesterday. Go check that show out. Go to Rumble and type that in, Bob, Frantz. Type in Strictly Speaking Unfiltered. Subscribe to that channel. He's a solid conservative voice, someone you should have in the mix. And he gets a lot of really good guests. Syndicated for a long time, and now he's gone solo, much like me. So he asks you to become a Strictly Speaking Insider, I believe. But what we ask you to do is support us in the ways that you can. So we got a lot of stories today. I'm happy to have you here in chat. Dina's wishing me a top of the morning, so I'll give you a pseudo hat tip there. And I'll tell you what, it's time. Buckle up, Buttercups. The TNAM Daily Show starts now.
Your guide to the truth, thenewamericanmedia.com.
Oh, okay. The screen did not change, but I've been here. Hi, everyone. Let's put you up on screen. Good morning, Mark, in the house. Ocho. Yeah. What are we going to do when our regulars get past 100, past 1,000, past 1 billion followers? Number 8, Ocho. Mark, checking in. Happy to have you here. Dina and Marion, welcome. Marion, Chips Ahoy. As in chips. Chips is in Chips Ahoy. In response to Ahoy Hoy. That is how Mr. Burns on The Simpsons answers his phone. Ahoy hoy. What would you do if the people you called on the phone answered ahoy hoy? Yeah, I don't know. That's definitely the type of old-timey vernacular that I would use. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Why are we singing Panama? Did I sing that the other day? I think I might have. Panama, oh, 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 oh. Leanne in the house checking in. Thumbs up. Number 3. Are you're number 3 on the Wait, are you the third person to hit the thumbs up button? Now, hold on. Leanne is number 30. Here, let's pull it up on the screen. We have our TNAM Trash Panda softball team. Oh, Leanne is... we have you at 32, Leanne. 32. Special thanks to John for putting this together, of course, our TNAM meme team. Making awesome images. Absolutely love that. I think you're number 32. But we are still tweaking it, so that could change. Dina asking, what is wrong with leader John Thune? Do you mean besides everything? Other than everything, you know, it's all good. What's wrong with Thune? I know. Exactly. Mark's just here for adjectives and verbs. Well, good. I'll have some of those today. All right, let's dig into the news, shall we? Let's see. Yep, we're 24 people shy of being able to go live on Instagram. Hopefully, we'll be able to do that sooner than later. So make sure you're following us, the New American Media. All right, let's pull them up. Let's dig in. Whoop, stories are rolling. Let's pause them. All right, so from Not the Bee, we heard this story, and of course, it will usually take, you know, around 72 hours before we're able to figure out the details of a story. So usually when we're reporting on, you know, breaking info, we don't know much. We know that we don't know much, but we do the best that we can in that time frame. Because that's our job. Our job is to dig into the news and get things going. Ahoy hoy is a pirate term. Like all the people in Minneapolis that took over the city, the Somali pirates were stealing everything. All the resources meant for Americans. Good times. Good times. All right, let's see what Not the Bee, you know, the Babylon Bee. Well, story's so ridiculous that they put him in Not the Bee to remind people, no, this is not a skit. This is something that happened. They are reporting female cop shoots Jewish rabbi outside of Pornhub office in Canada while hiding from Marxist gunmen who killed immigrant officer named Muhammad. Are you You know, I've had my coffee. I've been awake. No joke. No joke. Seriously, come on. I felt a headache come on as I read this sentence, and it got progressively tougher with more adjectives and verbs. Mark's here for adjectives and verbs. Not the Bee says, female cop shoots Jewish rabbi outside of Pornhub office in Canada while hiding from Marxist gunmen who killed immigrant officer named Muhammad. Autism Capital says, this might be the most cursed sentence ever written on this app. I literally, legitimately had that same experience. With each passing word, I'm going, what are we, huh? Jane says, this headline is doing too much at once. Jewish rabbi, Pornhub office, Marxist gunman, immigrant officer. Feels like someone mashed several stories together. Need more context on this one. Oh, and the monkey says, Godzilla had a stroke trying to read this and effing died. So, according to some reports, that's some more context on what happened in Montreal. How do you pronounce Montreal? Like a Frenchman? Montreal. Okay, so there's a little bit more info and context. Let's check in on Evo Morales. Bolivia.
El que no quiere que venga es narco.
Okay, you enjoy that. Evo Morales just confessed what the blockades are really about, according to millennial Republicans. For years, the media called Evo Morales and his movement the defenders of democracy. But now he's openly admitting the blockades are about protecting himself, while his supporters continue shutting down highways, disrupting supply routes, and creating shortages of food, fuel, medicine, and other essential goods across Bolivia. Some of the same groups behind the unrest are now saying they'll stay at the barricades until the elected government is gone. That's terrorism. The reality is simple. Bolivia voted for change after nearly 2 decades of socialist destruction or rule. And the people who lost are making the country ungovernable until they get their way. Funny how the people who always seem to be talking about saving democracy seem to have no problem with chaos when voters choose the wrong side. Socialist former president is defending coca production. And after seeing what happened to Nicolas Maduro, he's probably wondering if he's next. So all eyes on that. 50 days of unrest as protests and roadblocks paralyze their city.
We are on the brink of an emergency in terms of famine. There are people who, with the price rises and the shortages, the poorest cannot get absolutely anything. That is a reality, and we find ourselves in an atmosphere of tension where we citizens want peace, calm, and most importantly, that whoever breaks the law be punished. That is what we Bolivians want.
Eso es lo que los bolivianos queremos.
Blockades of La Paz, El Alto, and Cochabamba have prevented essential goods from reaching them.
I haven't opened for over a month and a half. I haven't opened on Saturdays or Sundays. I had 9 employees under my care. Unfortunately, I had to tell them to take a break. What am I going to sell? There's no meat, it's expensive, and there's no chicken. There aren't any ingredients either.
So pray for the people of Bolivia.
Nosotros advertimos al señor Rodrigo Paz que una vez dé un paso al costado. No estamos para dialogar, no estamos para negociar nuestra sangre derramado, mucho menos hemos tenido vidas.
Ali sums this up. Indigenous leaders of La Paz, Bolivia, we don't want dialogue or negotiation with those who have our blood on their hands. We'll be at the barricades until the president is gone. Okay, well, what's that common adage? Hey, where's Ortho today? It's not never leave your cave without your club. That is the phrase that he will routinely use because it's almost always relevant. But you can vote your way into socialism, but you have to shoot your way out. You know, the politics of greed and envy are easy until they're not. As Margaret Thatcher said, the problem with socialism, I don't know what she sounded like. And it, governor. The problem with socialism is, wait, hold on. Yeah. I don't know why I overcomplicated it in my head. The problem with socialism is eventually you run out of other people's money to spend. So all eyes on Bolivia, people. But I believe since U.S. aid has dried up, socialists, traitors to the indigenous people of these countries across the world, they're 0-7. So that's good. This is both good and not good. It's not good because, oh boy, massive sparks go flying over in northeast Oklahoma City when flames tear through a fireworks stand, sending colorful bursts of light and smoke into the air. Residents in Broken Arrow say they called 911 after hearing several loud booms and seeing the fireworks shooting in different directions. No word on what sparked the fire, but firefighters say they were able to extinguish the flame within 20 minutes. 20 minutes! Then tell me why there's a warehouse fire in California that's just been burning for 5 days in a row, 6 days in a row. How many days in a row? Almost like if you want to stop the Palisades from burning down, you do it. If you want to stop a warehouse fire from burning down, you stop it. If you can calm down a fireworks fire in 20 minutes, I think you can calm down a Palisades fire and you can calm down a warehouse fire. But I digress. Dina reminding us Brazil speaks Portuguese. Dates back to 1494. And there you go. Yeah, in the art world, Kenneth, we had Dadaism. And you're saying so-soism isn't a threat. But you're from the MTV generation. You feel neither highs nor lows. How's that feel? Yeah. Dina's trying to wake Ortho up. With a nudge or with a phone call? That's the question. But yeah, check this out. Hey, let's go! Yeah! Hey, yeah!
Oh,
what a happy accident, as long as no one...
Alex, I want to get out of here. Oh my gosh.
Come on, Alex, get her out of there. Yeah, some fires you want to get away from, others you're like, oh, they look so nice. No injuries reported, and the people working at the stand are okay. I hope you all get to go see a bunch of fireworks for this Independence Day. And words matter, vernacular matters. So remember, not 4th of July, it's not July 4th.
And so
it's Independence Day.
And so I
say it that way, Independence Day. And that's why some people are like, Juneteenth, what are you doing? We have Independence Day. We've declared our independence. We are independent. Yeah, but that was the end of slavery. It's encompassed with independence. We're independent from tyranny, from being forced, from being compelled into doing things. We have our independence. We have a day for this. Why do we need a second day? We need a second national anthem. We have a national anthem. Sing it. Well, no, we need a black national anthem. No, we don't. We have a national anthem that encompasses all. What are we doing? People. Leanne says, amen. Amen to what? What was the comment that led to the amen? I remind everybody in comments, try to type in sentences because I am bouncing around. I'm juggling chainsaws and apples and bowling pins. Don't forget to take a few bites. And when I see, amen, Brian, I don't know what we're referencing. But thank you for that. I think you're agreeing with something, which I appreciate. Amber's in. Good to see you guys. Just listening in today. Happy to have you. Smash the thumbs up button. And by the way, however you're watching on YouTube or X or Rumble or Twitch or Kick, make sure you're following us on Twitch and Kick at the New American Media. Hit the share show link, copy the link, text somebody, put it out on X and go, hey, we're all hanging out watching the news together. We're having a good time. Invite a few people, please. No, not in Depends pants. I remember there was a Depends commercial. It was like 1-800-DEPENDS. I wonder if that's still a thing. They were running advertisements way back in the day. And it was, if you call up 1-800-DEPENDS, they'll send a free order of Depends to your home. So we used to call kind of nonstop, just kind of pranking people. Anyone we knew their address, we just, here's some undergarments in the pants. Here's some Depends. Anyway, thanks for unlocking that childhood memory for me, Kenna. Hey, Amber already said, already hit the thumbs up. Thank you so much. All right, let's take a listen to this.
I do think that sometimes advocates of Israel.
This is J.D. Vance talking about how sometimes advocates of Israel
or pro-Israel people in the United States make two critical mistakes. On the one hand is not delineating between America's interests and Israeli interests, because they're not always the same. But the second is always conflating criticism of a particular government with Jew hatred. Because if everything is Jew hatred, then nothing is Jew hatred. I actually think Jew hatred is very bad, which is why I think we have to be very careful about not calling it's kind of like how progressives for 20 years called everything racist. And if everything's racism, nothing is racism. And we have to be very careful in order to serve a certain foreign policy objective, try to criticize somebody as anti-Semitic when they're just not.
Yeah, I completely agree with all that. And I think that distinction is important. However, from my vantage point, it seems to me like the bigger problem is I don't know exactly how I would describe it in a way that would be charitable, but almost like Israel derangement syndrome, going beyond, okay, yeah, we don't like Israeli policies. We don't think that we should put the priorities of any country first. Completely agree with that. That's fine. But the obsession that some people have, I would say on the right, with blaming all of their problems on Israel, all of their disagreements with Trump on some secret Israeli influence. And I'm not saying all of those people hate every Jewish person, but it seems to get there really fast. I see that more prominently on the right than I see true Israel first kind of obsession that you seem to be describing.
So I see both, and I think both are bad. And you know, I'm probably particularly sensitive to the first thing because of the last 2 days I've been defending the president's decision to end the Iran deal. And I find often the arguments are, well, Israel doesn't think this is good, therefore it's bad. And my reaction is Israel's opinions matter, but fundamentally they are separate. But you're right. I mean,
you're getting the context here, right? Eli Kowatz says this is what losing the American right looks like. Matt Walsh responds to that. I'll tell you in a second.
There are certainly people who take every frustration with the Trump administration, every policy disagreement becomes because of Israel. And that is absolutely wrong. And again,
over and over and over again, with colleagues, with friends, with other pundits, sort of all comes back to the boogeyman. It's how do you prove a negative? No, it's not. We'll prove it. Well, you prove it. You're the one that's asserting it. And the Trump administration in the past week or two during these peace negotiations have definitely come out and had different opinions on the state of Israel. By the way, if there's a Jewish state, where's the Christian state? You got plenty of Muslim states. Where are the Christian states? Why is it that some states get to be Muslim? Why is it that some states get to be Jewish? Why is it that some or state gets to be Jewish? Country, you know, vernacular, however you're specifically defining it. Where are the Christian states, the Christian nations, you know? But yeah, I know several people who they're sort of in the Candace Owens, Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson, I don't know, Nick Fuentes camp of everything wrong in the world is because of the Jews. They say this every day. And it becomes a catch-all. And if you push back on that, you're called intellectually dishonest. I have been. And I say, no. You're being intellectually dishonest. Pinning the tail on the donkey every single time. It's, once again, it's the thanks, Obama, where anytime there's a policy position issue, my coffee wasn't warm today. Thanks, Obama. Oh, the cat crapped on the carpet again today. Thanks, Obama. I forgot to do the dishes last night. My kitchen's a mess. Thanks, Obama. Same thing. Thanks the Jews. Thanks the Jews. Thanks the Jews. When you're pinning the tail on the donkey on everything, it gets, what are we really dealing with? What type of conversation are we supposed to have when you can't really talk about facts and issues? You're just battling a straw man, a constant boogeyman. But here's where we are. The attacks that spurned the war over there in Gaza and maybe sort of springboarded what happened in Iran because of all their terrorist proxies. It's brought all this stuff to the surface. And that Eli Kowatz says this is what losing the American right sounds like. Back to JD.
And I think that that is one of those things that can bleed into some very dark places.
Yeah.
So I think that it's upon us as leaders, as public commentators, to just try to be very rational about this, to try to distinguish what is legitimate disagreement from ethnic hatred. And you just got to be careful about it. But I actually think both the Trump administration, but the right generally is in a place of figuring this stuff out. Any debate, every debate, has excesses on either side, but that's part of the process of figuring this stuff out together. And so I do think that sometimes advocates of Israel.
And so, look, J.D. Vance is on the world stage right now. J.D. Vance is perhaps auditioning for the next president of the United States. Like I said, we're 5 months away. Remember how Obama said 5 days away from fundamentally transforming the United States of America? I stopped myself from slipping into Obama voice because I didn't want to do that for the next 10 minutes because it's hard to slip out of the Obama voice. But yeah, JD's auditioning for this position. I think it seems like he's doing a fantastic job. Matt Walsh responded to what Eli said. This is what losing the American right sounds like. Okay. Matt Walsh says, imagine objecting to the vice president of the United States, pointing out that Israel is a separate country from the United States. There's no objection there. They're separate. Also, the idea that this sentiment loses the American right is hilarious. Could not possibly be more out of touch.
And so I do.
So I do agree with that. Totally out of touch. Hello, Apple Love. Happy to have you here. Please smash the thumbs up button. Consider subscribing. And let us know where you're watching from. It's nice to know where people are tuning in from. Yeah, David's here. Great. Now we are officially an international show. Let's see if Alberta Arnold jumps in. A lot of Texas contingents. We have some Texas stories, by the way. Did you hear about the bees? Can't wait to talk to, John and Marion. You heard about the bees on the freeway, right? It's sort of a whole thing. Sort of a state of emergency because of bees in Texas. Wonder if you might be able to add some bees to the apiary because of that. But yes, Apple Love, no more bills. Correct. There will be no more bills. Apple Love says, are you serious? At American_media_? Yes. The president has been pretty crystal clear about this. We're not doing anything until we get the Save America Act passed. There will be no America if, there's fraud. Look, there's fraud everywhere. A lot of people say we've got to do this first. So I told Leader Thune, go lead. And that's where we're at. We've hit an impasse. We've hit a block. And so we will get to that story and explain it. All right, moving on back to Montreal. Glenn Greenwald says excitement over yesterday's Montreal shooting was palpable. The opportunity for politicized narrative exploitation appeared limitless. A violent attack in a Jewish neighborhood filled with key Jewish institutions. But then the facts emerged. Shooter's name, Seth Hatfield. Police officer he murdered was Constable Mohammed Lamine Burnouane of Algerian or Moroccan descent. The only Jewish person killed was a Lebanese immigrant who... this whole story is just... It's the South Park episode of the manatees getting the balls out of the swimming pool. And they just throw a few random things together and they get a story for Family Guy. That's how they pick the Family Guy storylines. This story, it's hard to follow. So Glenn Greenwald says the only Jewish person killed was a Lebanese immigrant who apparently was accidentally shot by one of the cops. And the shooter's lengthy manifesto had nothing to do with anti-Semitism, Israel, or leftist ideology, but instead relied on a nuanced and hybrid form of incel worldview. And just like that, interest in this incident evaporated as quickly as it emerged. Just read the Montreal mass shooter's entire 104-page manifesto. I regret to inform you, it's actually pretty interesting. Ignore any simpleton who tries to reduce his ideology to simple left or right or even incel. You know, and I did, it's not that I reduced it to that yesterday, but there was only so much information that we could use. There was only so much information that we could discuss as the event broke. But it is more complicated because what I read was like, oh, he's an incel. Okay, I guess we got nothing to see here. Michael Tracy says, the shooter's main ideological belief is opposing hypergamy, which he blames for creating a social system where most men, he claims, are heinously deprived of female romantic connection. He therefore opposes capitalism, which he views as a primary enabler of hypergamy. He praises what he calls communist societies as China, North Korea, and the Soviet Union, in contrast with the West, because he claims communist societies are superior at engendering communal structures that facilitate monogamy, wherein the average man has better access to stable female partners. It's a lot to unpack, but I understand what they're saying. He recommends reading the works of Marx, Stalin, Robespierre, and other left-wing revolutionaries. He also attacks conservatives for swindling average men by getting them needlessly focused on supporting conservative politicians who they are falsely led to believe will support their class interests. Oh, and he opposes Christianity. Oh, really? I'm so surprised. You mean someone against random violence opposes Christianity? I don't know many real Christians that go around randomly K-ing people. However, he continues, he also inveighs against mass immigration, cultural degeneracy, leftists, liberals, trans stuff, and so on. This is very nuanced. It's sort of scattershot all over the place. Come on, I'm being serious. You get your shotgun, you fire it out the back door. Come on, you out the back. You know the thing. Joe Biden telling people just get a shotgun and blast it through your door. Like, no. But this is a scattershot. It appears the shooter may have targeted his mass shooting attack at the headquarters and or CEO of a porn company, Pornhub, in Montreal. Indeed, porn companies are one of the targets he recommends his followers planning attacks against because he regards pornography as one of the vilest contributors to male suffering and larger cultural degeneracy. He gives advice on how to cultivate good intellectual habits, reading lots of books, giving up video games, moderate physical conditioning, firearms training, so as to best enact revolutionary violence. All right, so this is sort of, I don't normally spend too much time on the shooters. I don't like to say their names. But it's interesting to delve deep and kind of figure out what's going on with this one, because there's a lot with this one. Here are the ideological movements he recommends followers of his movement infiltrate. If they are not inclined toward violence and prefer to overthrow the hypergamy state through legal or political methods, get involved in conservative socialism. It's just socialism. Stop. It's not democratic socialism. It's not conservative socialism. It's just socialism. Duginism. I don't know what that is. Communism. Islamic theocracy. Well, if he wants to infiltrate and overthrow Islamic supremacist theocracy, okay. So those are the ideological tendencies he would regard as the most compatible with his own. Or wait, infiltrate in a good way? Sorry, it's getting a little confusing for me here. Particularly, I would say conservative socialism. He attacks both left and right, not uncommon with higher IQ mass shooters, and encourages assassinating both left and right-wing political figures. This guy was not some mentally ill crank like some other mass shooters, nor was he one of the guys who just copy and pastes a pre-existing internet brain manifesto. See the guys who did the San Diego mass shooting a few weeks ago. He's reasonably high intelligence and well-read. Incel? Sure, involuntarily celibate. Maybe he's not getting laid. Sure, I guess, but I've personally never seen an incel manifesto that is so well-versed in political economy, history, bigotry, literature, biology literature, and even meticulously citing peer-reviewed studies. This was a smart guy who knew exactly what he was doing, planned it long in advance, and although it appears he wasn't successful in assassinating the Pornhub CEO, he's substantively off on a lot of the gender stuff, obviously. But he clearly spent a lot of time systematically thinking about it and putting together what has got to be the most well-written mass shooter manifesto I've read in a long time. Striker Glows has a thought. I want to emphasize how backward the shooter, Seth Hatfield, was, so everyone understands. No, I'm not going to change the verbiage there. I want to emphasize how retarded the shooter, Seth Hatfield, was, says Striker Glows, so everyone understands how unimpressive he must have been intellectually. All right, so here's the counterpoint. His plan was a sniper attack from the Hilton Hotel across the street from the ALO headquarters to kill Pornhub executives. However, he was too stupid to actually do any real due diligence and decided to fire from the 11th floor of the Hilton Hotel into the ALO office on the 6th floor. Hilton and ALO buildings are across the street from each other at a distance about 120 feet. Just some basic trigonometry makes it clear it would have been impossible to hit anyone in the ALO office from his shooting position. Any shots would have needed to be fired at a steep downward angle and made it impossible to reach much into the office at all. Most he could do is shoot the floor near the windows, which is what he did. His angle of fire would have been something like 67 degrees, putting all his shots into the floor in front of the window. Pathetically, he was too stupid to realize this and fired blindly anyways, causing no damage. Even at a lower floor, the attack would have been ineffective since much of the office is protected by the central elevator column. He then went downstairs to cross the street and stormed the office in full army camo, using a stripper clip loading rifle, 5-round capacity rifle, and was immediately confronted and killed by the brave police officers he had a gunfight with. Overall, total incel loser retard with an AI written manifesto who couldn't even kill a single one of his targets. Probably was just too much of a coward to off himself, so he made an excuse to be Cade. Why else wear a uniform to ensure you can never escape by blending into the crowd? So you see some busted out windows there. More busted out windows and layouts. Okay. Well, that's a very weird story. I'm sure we'll keep looking into that one. But that's more information than we had yesterday. Spirit of Defiance asks, so did the FBI kick in Dr. Fauci's door this morning for funding the gain-of-function research that created COVID-19 and killed millions worldwide? Or does that level of mass murder not qualify for a pre-dawn raid? I have been screaming for pre-dawn raids. When we say nothing's happening and we're getting mocked by Dan Bongino and others, add this to the nothing's happening list. No. The raid on Obama, on Fauci, on Biden. Where are these things? Pelosi, Kinzinger, Cheney, the J6 Unselect Committee. Where is it? Feels like nothing's happening. Nothing's changing. Does that level of mass murder from Fauci not qualify for a pre-dawn raid? I would suggest yes, it does.
Should be suspended.
And we're very overdue.
Should be.
Now, as many frustrations that you may have with the Republican Party, and some of them are very valid. I will not debate or dispute them. I often say the only thing worse than a Republican is a Democrat. Because when I say that, I'm thinking of all the rhinos who pretend to be constitutionalists, who tend to be liberty-loving people, but they're not. They're selfish grifters, making tens of millions, hundreds of millions, maybe through their partners, nonprofits and non-governmental organizations and charities. You know, it's the classic grift. The classic grift. Please, not for a second, do you think I'm saying anything similar to not fully sure what Tucker Carlson is intending to do? Some suggest he might run for president in 28. Some are suggesting that Tulsi Gabbard wants to run for president in 28. We'll see. But just take a look at Nick Fuentes. He's going to be voting Democrat. Nope, don't vote Republican, vote Democrat. Nah, I'm good, dog. I got a million problems with the Republican Party, but I have a trillion problems with the Democrat Party. Don't forget, Mays Moore says, if you think Keir Starmer's censorship is bad, imagine what would happen if Democrats ever got their way in this country. Let's listen to a few prominent dopey Democrats.
Be suspended. The privilege of using those words in that way should probably be taken from him.
There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
No right given to the people of the United States is absolute, and that includes the right to free speech. We are simply trying to create factually correct information to prevent harm to people. You shouldn't be banned from one platform and not others if you are for providing misinformation out there.
The First Amendment is not absolute. It does not protect any single thing anyone says. And what this committee has been trying to do for the last year and a half is to chill the federal government from monitoring what is going on social media.
There are Americans who are engaged in this kind of propaganda.
Oh, that's rich. Hillary talking about propaganda. You said Russia hacked our election and put a Putin puppet in, that Trump didn't really win, that the election was stolen. You witch.
And whether they should be civilly or even in some cases criminally charged is something.
Yeah, you have criminal difference of opinion.
That would be a better deterrent.
This is a matter of corporate responsibility. Twitter should be held accountable and shut down that site. It is a matter of safety and corporate accountability.
I strongly believe that Section 230 has long outlived its use.
Keir Starmer looks like a baby compared to this.
A real vessel for evil.
For banning social media
that
under 16.
Needs to come to an end.
Look at them for everyone, including you and I.
That Section 230 protects these big platforms from are very often laws that go back to the common law of England.
Should be suspended.
Yeah. Tasia says, America would be exactly like the UK right now if Kamala had won the presidency. Yeah, if Hillary won it in 2016, if Kamala was there now, Democrat Party would be the Marxists and America would have ceased to exist. She says, I don't know if the UK can ever get back to its original sovereignty, and it's tragic. David chimes in, it's time to show arrests for the high-end criminals and give the patriots some real signs of control. For real. Mark mentions that Fauci's already gone. Really? Others say that Benjamin Netanyahu is gone. Really? Maybe so, maybe not. I don't know. David says, if the plan holds up, most of these criminals are already gone. Well, I got a post about the plan. It might strike a little close to home, but we got to
should be suspended.
I know I put it in the stack. It's coming up. CEO Watch List says, breaking, a Wall Street Journal investigation reviewed 1,105 Polymarket creator videos. Not one bet was real. Polymarket built fake copies of its own website, paid creators $2,000 to $3,000 a month to film staged wins, and told them not to close the deal. A marketing firm then pushed it, there we go, to 140 million views. The same bets that were shown as wins would have lost $166,000 if they were actually placed on the platform. That's deceptive advertising, without a doubt. Although I was thinking about maybe getting involved in Polymarket or what's the other one? There's a whole bunch of them now. Kalshi, where you can bet on world events. And it's like, if you can bet on a sports event where you don't really know what the players and managers and the playing field conditions and the locker room situations are like, I mean, you're putting money on these sports events, basketball, football, baseball, whatever, World Cup. I know a little bit. I know a little bit about global events. Maybe I should put a few bucks on it, but gambling, the house always wins, So there's a big push right now from Ro Khanna and others trying to steal Elon's money because he's super successful and he's funding, he's counterbalancing decades of anti-American funding from George Soros, non-governmental organizations, fake charities, nonprofits, to money launder. They're doing great. Rabbit Hole says, well, even if politicians confiscated all of Elon Musk's wealth, and by the way, it's not like he's got a bank account with $1 trillion in it. It's all in stocks. It's all in companies, several different companies. That's what I'm saying about property taxes. I was told my property taxes are going to double. Well, screw you. Oh, well, the value of your property increased. What about that happening makes you think I have more money in my pocket to pay you more today? I took out a loan at a rate. Keep me at that flipping rate. Put that on the chalkboard. I edited myself from cussing. A side effect from doing Bob Francis Strictly Speaking Unfiltered show yesterday. I tried to be clean in my language. Liberty Tango in the house. Welcome. Just received your notification. Well, happy to have you. The house always wins. I call him Gambler. The Simpsons episode where Marge gets addicted to gambling. That is fantastic. Molly want to market. All right. That's pretty awesome. But yeah, back to Elon. Even if politicians confiscated all of Elon's wealth, that $1 trillion would only be enough to run this government for about 2 months. The issue is not taxation. The issue is spending and fraud and waste and abuse and treason. Don't get me started on property taxes. Please get started on property taxes. I am pissed off. Talking about ads. Ad love. Advantage. Add in. Add out. Fun fact that you wouldn't know, because I don't think I talk about it very often, but I played tennis. I was captain of my tennis team. I was Cleveland Plain Dealer Player of the Week back in the day. I think I went 3-0 that week. 2-0 in first doubles and 1-0 in singles. I think I was a better football player, but I got more recognition as a tennis player. I mean, I was pretty good in tennis too, but yeah, little fun fact. Add in, love, add out, game, set, match. Oh yeah, Liberty Tango, inflation is taxation, 100%. The issue. Thomas Massey is claiming feds placed the pipe bombs and fomented the demonstrations on January 6, 2021. One day this will be known as certainly as the fact that COVID was the result of U.S.-funded lab research. Is it U.S. funded or Fauci funded? And I thought they arrested some dope. Wasn't the guy mentally retarded that they arrested? And they're like, why would this guy plant pipe bombs? It seems like it was obviously a part of the same setup. You know, the 10 Commandments are a pretty good set of rules to kind of govern your body, govern yourself with. Don't covet, don't lie, don't kill. But yeah, bearing false witness and trying to frame other people for stuff they didn't do. I believe that's sort of explicitly covered. So we'll see if feds are proven to have placed the pipe bombs and fomenting the demonstrations on January 6th of 2021. I love the post, though, Thomas Massey. Let's see how it shakes out. James Dueck says, the left screeches, believe all women. Then you got British girls saying, hey, here's what happened to 250,000 of us. And then there's the left. She's laughing. She's scoffing. She's whatting. She's laughing. No, they don't believe all women. They'll use the slogan and bash it into your skull if they think that a conservative or a Republican or somebody who values freedom and liberty is into such things. But no, over and over, they ignored the cries of the tortured indigenous British, 250,000 of them.
It's fascinating.
So they're full of it. All right, let's check in on the people in New York City who are winning. They are winning the primaries. Scott Jennings, always good for a couple quotes.
Fascinated by the Goldman Lander primary. I agree with you. I think Dan's going to lose. I don't agree with much of anything he's done in Congress, but I'm surprised you sort of glossed over the main issue in this race, which is Israel. I mean, Dan Goldman is a congressman, and he's Jewish, and he went into a coffee shop this weekend in Brooklyn, and they said, you're not welcome here anymore. Brad Lander is out speaking in mosques, telling those people that he'd like to go align himself with Ilhan Omar and the rest of the squad. Dan Goldman's only sin, I guess, is that he thinks Israel has a right to exist. And for that, that has been the principal issue in this. And you've got the mayor of New York City, Mamdani, out saying about AIPAC and Jewish Americans who have participated in our politics that they are, quote, monsters. What is happening right now in New York City, the Democrat socialist takeover of the Democratic Party, should frighten not just Jewish Americans, but all Americans everywhere, because this is the direction the Democrats are headed nationally. Look what's happening in Michigan, and it is frightening. Throwing Democrat Jewish congressmen out of coffee shops in Brooklyn, New York, it's not 1930s Germany. This is the United States of America. And by the fascinated.
Yeah.
Fascinated by.
Bridget Gabriel says, wake up, America. The enemy is already inside the gates. Oh, yeah. And don't forget, you got 40 million illegal alien invaders pre-positioned across this country. The time to get prepared for stuff is now. Absolutely. New York City, more like New Dork City. You're right, Kenneth. I love a good third grader burn. New York City, more like New Dork City. Wall Street Mav says, Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders are furious that Elon is a trillionaire. On paper, it's not like he has it in the bank. But regardless, they're totally fine with $2 trillion annual budget deficits, $1.3 trillion in annual interest payments. That's just money you're flushing down the flippin' toilet. $1 trillion in annual government fraud and $39 trillion in national debt. So David Garcia says, I'd rather emulate Elon than any of these two. Exactly. Now, this is interesting. I've seen this before, but they say when Across the News shared this. When Notre Dame burned in 2019, the Cathedral of Notre Dame, Ubisoft offered its Assassin's Creed data of the cathedral to help with the restoration. This is one of the most detailed digital models ever. I'll mute it and I'll large screen it. But look at this. This is the cathedral that burned down. And look at these renderings from that video game. I mean, to a T, showing you exactly how to rebuild this thing. Just look at this. Oh, well, it's burned down. Well, how could we ever fix it? Well, you look at this. Look at how the details of how this is mapped out. That is wild. Surprisingly valuable digital records of history, architecture, and culture. Well, there you go. Fascinating reminder that modern video games can be more than entertainment. They can also serve as interactive windows into the past, preserving places and stories in ways that traditional media cannot. Okay, hadn't really thought about it that deep, but now I am thinking about that. Very interesting. Dr. Sheila Zarian says, you know, the silver lining of the Democratic Socialists of America and their candidates dragging the Democratic Party into the abyss, well, they're creating Republicans. Every day, more normal Americans are finding a home in the party of common sense, family, opportunity, and patriotism. The party that still believes in the American dream and wants to preserve it. And for the people upset that Joe Biden was able to commandeer the country in a coup, as some claim, well, now we get to see the difference between Democrats and Republicans, and people don't want to have anything to do with Joe Biden. Look, it's Barack Hussein Obama's third or fourth term, depending on if you count the deep state impeaching President Trump twice and blocking his agenda at every turn, with unelected deep state bureaucrats running interference the entire time. Nobody wants what Obama's selling. Not locally, not globally. Well, let's check in on the fine city where Obama calls home. No, not somewhere in Kenya, not somewhere in Indonesia, not somewhere in Hawaii. How about Chicago? Actually, doesn't he have a house in Hawaii and in Martha's Vineyard and? I believe he's super filthy rich now. But let's check in on Chicago, the place of his presidential trash can. I mean, presidential library. Matt Walsh giving us a story about what Chicago's mayor just did. Enjoy.
How many trans-identified people of any race do you think were murdered in Chicago or anywhere else in the state of Illinois in the entire year of
Okay. How many trans people in the entire year?
2025. I mean, this is a genocide, remember? A state of emergency. The mayor has
a state of emergency declared by the mayor against trans people.
Made a task force to deal with it. Well, as it happens, after looking into it, the answer is zero. Zero trans-identified people were murdered in the city of Chicago or anywhere else in the state in 2025. Yes, the city of Chicago has declared a state of emergency over a genocide of so-called trans people in which zero of those people were murdered. So this is the first genocide in history to kill zero people.
You know, very similar. I would say, Matt, this is very similar to the insurrection where not a single person fired a single shot. Well, there were shots fired. No, not by the Trump supporters who said this election is totally bogus and we know it and we're not letting you get away with it. In a protest, a mostly peaceful, patriotic protest. The only insurrection where the insurrectionists were supporters of the current president. So they want us to believe that the insurrection was to remove the sitting president, who was President Trump at the time. Yes, it had not been certified, President Trump. So you can't have an insurrection against the person you support, and it's not really an insurrection if you don't fire a shot. You're not serious about doing that. That's not your intention, clearly. So yeah, very interesting genocide with not a single person dead in the year.
Of all the genocides that have actually happened in history, if you have to choose one to be the target of, like, this is the best one you could hope for. Like, I'll take the genocide where nobody is killed. I'll take that one. How many trans-identified people of any race?
So we got that going for us, which is nice. Ortho, Trash Panda number 2, present and accounted for. Yes. Number 2A. Yeah, Second Amendment. We switched your number to number 2 for Second Amendment. You guys are talking about dates. I said candidates, and Kenneth is asking about a can of dates. Is that like a jar of dates? I pressed pitted dates from the UAE out of Troy, Michigan. Well, love dates. I might pick some dates up. Don't make any jokes on that. All right. We're back to this weird Montreal story. There's something big here in this story. I'm trying to put my finger on it. We're missing part of this story. It says, so a rabbi got shot by a girl cop in front of the Pornhub Canada headquarters, and you're laughing? You got to say it in De Niro voice, though. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm my spidey senses are up on this story. There's more to it. Remember yesterday we shared that there has been a report that there's new research that showed some early promise. We have to see if it's verifiable, replicatable. That's how data works. You don't get to censor us for misinformation or disinformation. We're telling you that it's been reported that there was a study that showed actually a drastic 96% cure of treating alpha-gal syndrome from the Lone Star tick. Doesn't mean it works. Doesn't mean they're saying it works. They're saying something was tried once and it looks promising, so do more research into it. Remember, alpha-gal, I'm just sort of fascinated by this topic. I've lived in the woods and I've never dealt with ticks, and now it's like I don't want to spend any extended amount of time outside without spraying myself completely down with eucalyptus and lemon oil and peppermint, and then I'm just emanating that all day. So it's like you got to sort of plan for a whole day outside, and you got to spray accordingly. The shoes and the ankles, and they like waistbands, and I found one on me that had been chomping on me for a while. I've been fine. It wasn't a Lone Star, but not happy about it. But alpha-gal syndrome is a tick-induced allergy that causes severe reactions to red meat, dairy, and other animal products. Researchers evaluated 137 patients treated with Soliman auricular allergy treatment, SAAT, which is a specialized form of ear acupuncture. And 96% of people reported a full remission of symptoms, with many reintroducing beef, pork, and dairy without allergic reactions. So it says with many reintroducing. So that means 96 reported full remission, but some of them didn't reintroduce these things. With any study out there, the devil is in the details. And so who funded the study? Is it replicatable? Is it verifiable? But look, that's very promising, because I consider these tick-borne situations to essentially just be bioweapons attacks at this point. Plum Island, etc. Danielle D'Souza Gill says, actress Jenny McCarthy, my lone interaction with Jenny McCarthy. I had her on the wall of my room in high school growing up. Probably had her on the wall of my room in college too. She was great in the movie Basketball. I was working at the world's largest talent agency in Beverly Hills, California. And I was there with my buddy Ron, and the door opened up on the elevator. We had boxes of CDs at the time. We were batching recording albums. Our hands are full with boxes of CDs from across the street, waiting to go upstairs. The elevator door opens up. It's Jenny McCarthy. She takes a step out. His jaw drops, and he goes, "Whoa!" And he kind of like readjusts the box that he's holding onto, so he has a free hand. And he goes, "Whoa!" And he points at her. She's this far away from him. He goes, "Whoa!" He couldn't contain himself. Anyway, Danielle D'Souza Gill says, actress Jenny McCarthy says she wants Charlie Kirk to know that he changed the world and turned people to Jesus Christ. When he was shot, I completely surrendered, she says. Rest in peace, Charlie Kirk. We will never forget.
Dommy.
All right, let's check in on the communist hellscape of New York. President Trump has some thoughts on this.
I have stood next to Daria Lisa and I have said, our next congresswoman. And I've said these words in the way that many of us will say, inshallah. In the beginning, we hope, but we don't know how close it is. And the closer and closer we get to the day, the more that we believe. And now that language of hope is a language of fact.
Adami had 3 races to run, and they're going not against Republicans, against Hakeem Jeffries and establishment Democrats, and he won all 3. And these are extreme candidates. These aren't just a candidate with more charisma, less charisma, different stances on spending. This is dramatic. In fact, Mondami, they write this in the New York Times. The outcome will only force a Democratic Party already searching for an identity to reckon with an ascendant, unapologetic left, they should say socialist, in endorsing challengers to longtime incumbents. The mayor directly took on Hakeem Jeffries, a Brooklyn native who hopes to become the next Speaker of the House and represents the Democratic establishment. Neither Valdez nor Avila Chevrolet have committed to backing the congressman in his bid for Speaker should Democrats win back the majority in November.
Yeah, but
it would get worse than Speaker Jeffries.
They say.
But here's the thing. Even if the Democrats win the House,
what do they call him? Minority leader, minority speaker. What is it called?
Hakeem Jeffries is not going to be Speaker. They have completely taken over the Democratic.
Adami had 3 races to run.
So yeah, there's that. Yeah, Kenneth, Jenny and I had a thing. No need for her to be there. Oh yeah, I was a fan. Liberty Tango says, get your ghillie suits that are comparable to your area so ticks can't see you. I did pick up a ghillie suit. It's still in a box. I haven't messed with it. I did yeah. Yeah. I've never been out in that, though. Maybe I should go hunting one of these days.
Adami had 3.
Right now, we're peacefully and patriotically, politically hunting to win elections to bat back the radical commies. Who is this? Connor. This thing's covering it. Connor Lowen. By the way, you hear that song? My band used to cover this song. Bum, bum, bum. That little delay is so interesting. Connor Lowen says America is not divided by race, color, gender, or sexual orientation. America is divided into wise people and fools. And fools divide themselves by race, color, gender, or sexual orientation. That is just brilliant. Very well written. Very well written. Hodge Twin shared this from ALX.
Keep going down. Yeah.
Says, imagine having to explain to George Washington that America can't prevent illegal aliens from voting in our United States elections because a foreign-born judge from Trinidad and Tobago called Sparkle Suknanananananan said so. Could you imagine trying to have that conversation with George Washington? Kenneth, does a ghillie suit make you look silly? Not really. It's the eye of the AI. It's the unverified vid. I don't know if it's real or if it's fake. Oh, Blake sent me something awesome about Nimbus. I'm not logged into that. I would like to share it with you. It's really sweet. He made an AI of Nimbus walking through the pearly gates. It was like a 6-second video. I'm like, oh, man. But yeah, imagine trying to explain to President George Washington, the USA can't prevent illegal aliens from voting in our elections because a foreign-born judge from Trinidad and Tobago named Sparkle Suknananananan said we can't. So this will get appealed up to the Supreme Court and hopefully fast-track to block that crap. And she should be impeached.
Keep going down. Yeah.
There's music in this. I don't want to play.
Keep going down. Yeah, we can't show this or else we'll get this shit nuked off.
But this is about Epstein and Vladimir Zelensky knowing each other, being close friends. He says the little dictator over there in Ukraine, Zelensky, there's a bunch of emails between him and Epstein. They had lunch together multiple times. Epstein was very involved in Ukraine since 2014. He was excited about the U.S. coup there. He wrote an email describing it as being very good for us, saying there were many possibilities that would take place because of the destabilization of Ukraine. And the fact that the U.S. overthrew the leader there and put Zelensky in, he likes Zelensky, wrote an email to someone basically saying Zelensky was an idiot and didn't know anything. So it'd be easy to manipulate. 2023, the war is going on between Russia and Ukraine. While that war is going on, Zelensky invites performance artist Marina Abramovich to come to Ukraine to become an ambassador to Ukraine. Oh, really? She's not even Ukrainian. She's Romanian. He wanted to come be an ambassador for Ukraine, and you can't make this stuff up. Her specific area would be the ambassador for the children who are orphaned by this war. This spirit cooking artist who's all over the Pizzagate emails, who's all over this stuff talking about cannibalism, a huge part of her performance art too. Pictures of her and Lady Gaga at some event where they have like a human body. There it is. It's this thing, and they're eating off of it. What is this? That's the Abramovich girl did that? Yep. She's got the spoon in the mouth next to Lady Gaga. So when we talk about biolabs, Fauci funded, don't call them US funded, Fauci funded biolabs in Ukraine. You want to talk about 40 million illegal alien invaders and the human trafficking and all the air quote missing children? You want to talk about Ukraine and the orphan children? Easy to disappear and abuse children? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. This is super dark. This is super dark stuff. Ben Swan is still on top of it. You recall Ben Swan from the intro to our show. That's nice, Kenneth. Nimbus is sleeping on God's keyboard in heaven. That is pretty nice to think about. Lady Gaga, more like Lady Godless. Well, I did watch that movie. What was that one where she's a singer? That was a pretty good movie. I enjoyed it. What the hell was that called? Tell me something, boy. Girl, you're something in the something world with Bradley Cooper. What was that called? I keep thinking like American Sniper. I don't think that was it. I don't think Lady Gaga was in that one. No, not so much. C3 says, did they cover the UK rape gang inquiry? Let's check in with legacy media. BBC? No. CNN? No. MSNBC? No. ABC, CBS, NBC, USA Today, New York Times, Washington Post? No. It's like it didn't happen. Thousands of girls tortured like they never existed. Pure evil. I wonder why. A Star is Born. Thank you, Burr. Thank you. That's what it's called. It was a remake of A Star is Born. By the way, where is John today? Don't see him in either side. He must be busy with the bees or something. Yes, A Star is Born. Thank you. So yeah, if you're watching Lying Legacy Media, you're not getting the important stories. You want the important stories, follow the New American Media. And remember, if you like the New American Media, you can sign up to be a subscriber on Patreon, Rumble, or YouTube for as little as $5 a month, or 20 or 50 or 100, whatever you got. Or you can drop a Rumble Rant tip or a Super Chat tip or Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, all scrolling at the bottom of the screen. But yeah, you can't listen to legacy media. You have to find the New American Media. We'll get you good stories. All right, let's check in with Valentina Gomez, U.S. Wait, hang on. Why was it? Okay, it was muted. Let's go back and refresh it. It's still playing with the volume off. She's saying there's 7. Doggone it. Okay, volume's up. Let's refresh it one more time. And it goes back to muted. You dorks. I can't fix it. I keep fixing it. It's not fixing. She's saying there's 70,000 people in this arena at this World Cup game.
About 250,000 girls were raped and tortured by Muslims in the UK. 4 stadiums in Keir Starmer covered that up.
4 stadiums worth of girls tortured, and Keir Starmer for years covered it up. They got 70,000 in there. 14,280, roughly 4 times. And they're not talking about it. If you control the news, you get to control these types of things. And I, for one, do not like hiding the super important stories. I highlight the super important stories. All right. in the UK Parliament. Take a listen. They read this report. Brutal to listen to, but it's important that you hear it. Here she goes. Volume up.
On them were predominantly Muslim, generally either from Pakistan or of Pakistani heritage.
Yeah, Pakistani Islamic supremacist torturers.
One of the victims from Dewsbury was told by her rapist, I quote, "We're here to fuck all the white girls and fuck the government."
You heard that? Told one of the abused girls, we're here to F all the white girls and F the government. Why is anybody inviting or allowing groups of people to come in and abuse the citizens? Anywhere. I'm all ears. You've got a reason. I'm all ears, but you got to tell me, because I'm done with it.
Will the minister accept that, in many cases, these crimes were racially and religiously aggravated?
Racially and religiously aggravated. Roughly 4 stadiums full of abused British girls. And the legacy media isn't even mentioning it. Go figure. David Harris Jr. put this out. It's pretty interesting if you think about it. Is that an adjective or a verb? Maybe a dangling participle. They said that to Johnny Garcia. He's like, well, I'm wearing a long coat so you can't see it. To cover up his dangling participle. David Harris Jr. says the left hated Charlie Kirk because they say he was transphobic and homophobic. Interesting that the left, they love Palestinians who are openly transphobic and homophobic. Please make it make sense. All right, so do we still have our Apple person in here? Apple, you were here in the beginning. I don't see you posting. Are you still here? Oh, I'm sorry. This is the wrong story anyway. But President Trump said something massive yesterday, and this probably should have been in my headline. I was like, I know there's another story I want to talk about. Our Second Amendment. Ortho, listen up. Ortho, listen up. You might love this one.
What about national right to carry?
What about the national right to carry, he asks, yesterday.
That's my free poll. You know what that is? That's a free poll. I don't have to pay $300,000 to somebody that doesn't even do polling, you know, to give you phony numbers. See, those are real numbers. National right to carry. Yeah, we're working on it. How do you feel?
We're working on it.
About national right to carry.
I don't want to hear we're working on it. I want to hear it's done. Here it is. We've clarified and we no longer allow deep state sanctuary cities to let the only bad guys with guns be the illegal alien invaders and the crime syndicates. This whole confusion of, oh, you cross a border from this state to that state, you can't have that weapon, you can't do this, you can't have that. Nationwide, we have a right to keep and bear arms, and you shall not infringe upon it. What we do not have the right to do, we don't get to pew-pew anybody with no reason. Still the law, still legal. You know what I mean, Vern? National right to carry Strug. Was that her name? Carrie Strug, the Olympian? Carrie or Carrie? It's Casey Kasem. No, that's Carrie. Actually, his daughter might be Carrie Kasem. Anyway, yeah, this is overdue. This would be a massive win. You just got to make it happen. Let's listen to Theo Vaughn and Ed Sheeran talking about how the UK is right now in London. I believe that's where Ed Sheeran is from. Let me summarize. It's not good.
What's the most dangerous place to be around here?
What's the most dangerous place to be around here?
The area of London is sketchy. Like, I think that you cannot be anywhere. The nice areas are sketchy, the bad areas are sketchy, but you just have to not do stupid. If you wander around with, I don't know, like a Louis Vuitton duffel bag and a 200 grand watch, you are going to get robbed. But just don't do that.
Yeah, don't do it.
That's got to be one of the most relatable pieces of advice ever dispensed by a celebrity. When you're walking around London, whatever you do, don't take your $200,000 watch, that we all have, and your $150,000 Louis Vuitton duffel bag. And just to be safe, leave your $2 million earrings at home as well. But you can't blame the criminals. They didn't do anything wrong. You're the one who should suffer because you made yourself a target by existing, by having the gall to walk down the streets.
What's the most dangerous place to be around here?
Yeah, it's important that we don't allow ourselves to be conditioned to believe bad guys doing bad things is somehow our fault. It's what the grooming gangs do. They try to make the girls feel like they did something to deserve the abuse. It's what, it's gaslighting at the highest degree. It's not the best. It's not the best. Hey, Kamala Harris, she's back on the campaign trail. Let's check in. Oh, it's going exactly how you'd expect with Don Lemon. That's too much music. I can't play it. Watch only if you want to be inspired. Doggone it. I want to... Please, Instagram, give me a button here where I can click it and take that background music out so you don't flag our story for copyright. I don't care about this stupid piano music. I want to hear her blabbering.
When we feel...
Gotta mute it. Anyway, it's 1 minute, 13 seconds of word salad. Go check it out. Weird that I can't click this one to show it to you. Huh. Some stories they won't let you expand upon. That's really weird. But this one's about trusting the plan. Let's take a listen.
When we thought that the super secret, top secret plan of arresting the deep state by not arresting the deep state and draining the swamp by re-electing the swamp was maybe not going according to the plan that we trust, the administration flooded our social media timelines with very not subtle cue drops to remind us that the super secret, top secret plan that's been in place for nearly a decade is in fact going according to plan. Because I don't know about you, because if I have a super secret, top secret military operation that only nobody knows about except every single person on Next knows about it, I'm just going to put Donnie's face in front of the letter Q to signal to them that the super secret, top secret military clearance that I have in order to get this information to take down all the global powers of the world is best hidden when revealed to everyone on X. And hold the line, Patriots, because everybody else just doesn't get it. It's not because they wanted to do marketing and branding ahead of the quantum computing executive order announcement today and give everybody's favor behind it. It's because of the super secret military operation. Lock down the country, plan. Rushed mystery juice that enriched everyone in Big Pharma, all the worst people, plan. Passed the multi-trillion-dollar CARES Act that inflated the value away of normal dollars that's in everybody's pocket, but it raised asset prices for all the rich people that hold all the assets.
Anyway, that was a pretty interesting rant. I wish I could play it for you. It would not let me expand on it. That's weird that Instagram wouldn't do that. So if this guy is telling the truth and Instagram doesn't want you to see the truth, then the truth is that the Q ops are it's a psyop. Just so you can go back to sleep. Mark says, I'm in a grooving gang. I'm just a singer in a rock and roll band. Are you a rambler? Adam Carolla talks about it all the time. In the 70s, there were a lot of songs about rambling. Everybody was rambling. I'm a rambling man. A vagabond banging chicks in every town. I'm a rambling man. Kamala has the nickname Word Salad Amy. You know what? I'm going to take your word. She's She didn't invent word salad. Oh, Jennifer Newsom, you got to listen to her. Oh, the people that say so much and say so little. It is atrocious. Dina, rock on. Muse is one of my favorite bands. Same here. They will not force us. They will stop degrading us. They will not control us. We will be victorious. Come on. Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Meow, meow. Okay, so everybody's talking about ads on the YouTube space. I'm checking it out here. Let me pull it up on the. So there's some ads that you can skip, and you love those, and you hate the ones that don't give you a skip option. YouTube changed overnight. The whole layout was different. The monetization tab was different. Advertisements were different. YouTube changed, man. I don't know. But yeah, if you ever let those ads play, and remember, one of the ways, if you don't want to make a donation to this bar, you know, throw something in our tip jar for the bartender here to help keep the lights on and pay the staff. You could watch previous content from previous videos. Just toss something up. This was a big push when we had to get remonetized. We need a certain amount of hours. And all that happened without ads rolling. But if you were to pull up previous episodes and let them roll, hours of videos, if it's playing ads, that's like tossing pennies in the wishing well. And if a lot of people are doing that, the pennies will add up to $1. Maybe the bucks will add up to a couple of bucks. But yeah, YouTube. YouTube changed yesterday. Kenneth says, Ortho, I hit that thumb. Yeah, hit that thumbs up. I hit that thumb, but now I need a bandage. Ow. Like in the cartoons, something happens to your thumb and it's going whoomp, 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 whoomp. It's like throbbing and expanding and glowing red. Don't hit that thumb. How about gently press the thumb? Yeah, I don't know. But like I said, YouTube changed their system yesterday. So I don't know. Tell me in comments what your experience is. It's that we're watching live, and while we're going, it just drops to a commercial or an advertisement. I don't know. The only way I would like to have ads is if it was like a 5-second ad. It's like, hey, everybody, aren't you thirsty? Drink a carbonated beverage of choice. And then back to it. That's what Snapchat does. I think that's what TikTok does. I don't use TikTok, but I don't love 30, 60, 90, 3-minute ads. That's kind of ridiculous. Hold on. Is who an auctioneer? Me? So, Tina. All right, let's check in on this girl. I guess, was she fired? Meet Dasha, a white healthcare worker, medical massage therapist, holistic practitioner, went viral for confronting 2 female members of the hijab squad in a HEB grocery store in, what does that say, Conroe, Texas. I don't know if she was fired or not, but she was caught. Did you catch this interaction?
What matters is that you worship a terrorist who is a warlord, a pedophile, and Islam is a terrorist organization.
Yeah,
not a
you're
religion.
Not educated.
Not a religion. I'm very educated on this subject.
No, because you're obviously not.
You need to leave. You're not welcome here.
We are.
This is not a Muslim country. This is a Christian country, and
Stop
you need to
looking at
leave.
her lecture.
What matters is that you worship a terrorist who is a warlord, a pedophile.
Okay, they're saying she was doxxed and then fired after standing up to a pair of Muslim women who provoked her and recorded her in a grocery store. Her give, send, go is north of $106,000. Let me pull it up, see where it's at. These are always interesting to me. Where's she at? Okay, Dasha. Whoa! Let's take a look. That post I shared had $100,000. And so they're saying she's been doxxed and then fired. Let's read what this page says. She referenced Muhammad being a warlord and a pedophile, then rejected the disorderly Muslims' claim of citizenship via paperwork. These aren't grateful assimilators, says the poster of this. They're imported chaos agents via chain migration, refugee scams, and non-white diversity quotas. They strut through American stores like conquered territory while demanding white women in scrubs kiss the ring or the rug. Who posted this? Who was the... I don't know if it says who created this. What is this, a prayer request? Click the pray button to let the fun... Oh, no, I'm not going to enter info, but I was curious how that works. Let's continue reading what somebody put up on here on the screen. They're reaping our air conditioning, our welfare, and our functioning society, then importing 7th century desert drama. The poster who launched this says Dasha did nothing wrong. She said the quiet part out loud in the grocery aisle while the rest of us are simply trying to shop without a full-blown cultural invasion. Dasha's been fully doxxed, so now they've put a hit on her, fired, and canceled for daring to speak the truth in her own country. She's now dealing with lost income, threats, and the mob coming for her holistic practice. So was she fired, or does she run the holistic practice? I don't know. I'm not entirely certain how this works. Wait, she's from Cornrow, Texas? I didn't see her wearing cornrows. I know, Conroe. So Dasha's been fully doxxed, fired, and canceled for daring to speak the truth in her own country, now dealing with lost income threats and the mob coming for her holistic practice. Let's help her get back on her feet. They set a goal. I think it was different. Oh, Tom Hennessy created this. The previous one I looked at said $100,000, but now the goal has been up to $250,000, and she's raised $220,000 so far. Well, what do you know? Any thoughts on this lady in this interaction? It's gone viral. Update. I'll put update $220,000 raised as of 1:45 p.m. EST 062426. I don't know what the whole interaction was about. I don't know how they started talking, what it was about. She's doxxed. She works for Doc Waterman. No. She's been doxxed. D-O-X-X. All right. Funny guys.
What matters is that you worship.
I told you about this story. Dr. Gator is going to tell you about it too. This is happening in Los Angeles. Boyle Heights. Dr. Gator says, when have you ever heard of a building fire? There we go. Nope. There we go. When have you ever heard of a building fire burning for a week in a major American city? Not a forest fire, not a wildfire, a building. At some point, this stops sounding like complex logistics and it starts sounding like total failure. Knock it down, bulldoze it, flood it, do whatever needs to be done. Los Angeles should not be told to just breathe smoke and chemicals for days or weeks while everyone debates the best way to save a warehouse that is already destroyed. Agreed. Yeah, that's a story that's been totally under the radar for a while. But it's important. And you know what else is important? It's seemingly becoming important. It's become important that I do evening content. I'm trying to figure out exactly what it looks like. Maybe it's 7 p.m., maybe it's 8 p.m., maybe it's 9 p.m., maybe it's 10 p.m. I don't know, Eastern time. But when I do these marathon shows, 2.5 hours is very easily doable. And I'm at an hour 40 right now. And I've hit you with a bunch of stories. Now, we've left a couple stories on the table. And I want to get to them. But I'm wondering if maybe I could do our Instagram stories either in the morning. And I think maybe being a guest host for Strictly Speaking Unfiltered, getting up at... God, how early was I up? I think I hit snooze at 5 o'clock till about 5:45. Got into the studio at about 6:10. Show prepped, got everything fired up. Did a show from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Then I did another show at noon. I think doing evening content is going to be good. And if I was able to split up my content into 2 shows, I think it would be helpful. I'm very used to doing this at noon. But I think I want to try it today. I think maybe I want to put a pin in today's show. Kind of tag it and bag it. There we go. Ortho says, yes, Brian, evening is best. Just like law enforcement, most criminal activity is in the evening. Well, Ortho, I never hang out in my studio without my club, if you know what I mean. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I want to tell you just the highlights since I'm sort of springing this on you. I do want to buzz through I don't even want to cover these stories. I just want to tell you about them quickly. On Instagram, I'm sorry, on X at American_media_. Yeah, let me do this real quick. Lightning round, and I mean lightning round. And then I'll actually dig into these stories a little bit this evening. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do a show this evening. I've been trying to. I've been talking about it, thinking about it. I'm just gonna try it. Lightning round. Want to hear it? Here it go. Wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? Here it go. Let's see. 150. Lightning round begins. There's going to be no supplemental draft in the NFL. Texas Tech quarterback Brendan Sorsby, who was betting on his teams and was suspended, he's not eligible to enter the draft. In the supplemental draft. So teams looking for a quarterback, you can't take this guy at least until next year. One of the ladies elected to Congress forgot napkins, so she wiped her hand on an American flag because she hates this country, and you should return that respect. Young white woman drugged and assaulted and Cade in a Miami Beach hotel. We'll dig into it later. School suspends a 5-year-old for fighting. Dad gets called in. The kid was punching on me at recess. I asked him to stop, and he didn't. So then the dad says, you know what? You're not going to do anything to the bully who was messing with my kid, but you're suspending my son? All right. He looks at the bully kid and says, you're going to think twice before bullying my son again. Turns to the boy, gives him knuckles in the office, and says, son, I'm proud of you. You ain't suspended. You got a 3-day vacation. It's hunting season. Let's go. Zero tolerance policies are a joke. They only tolerate one thing is kids who won't defend themselves. This dad reminded every weak administrator in America what real parenting looks like. Raise men, not victims. This theologian J.D. Hall says of Tucker Carlson that Muslim rulers didn't tax churches during the Ottoman period. They were very kind to Christians. Well, Ezra Levant is like, bullshit. Muslims kidnapped the entire village of Baltimore, Ireland, took every man, woman, and child and baby to Algiers to be sold as slaves. Men were put to work and castrated, and women were used as rape slaves. So, you know, we're not doing this. We're not doing this. Yeah, Kenneth, I know days are best. How early could that work? Could we do something pretty early? Like, is 7 a.m. too early if I did mornings and evenings? Because then I'd have a steady batch of content rolling every 12 hours. And there's so much to talk about. It would be nice to not have to do, marathon sessions as much as I like them. And I could keep doing them. It would be better if they were like a little bit more bite-sized, perhaps. No, I didn't see the Starmer post that Bongino posted. Can you tag us on X? 90% of Americans are proud to be American. 90% of Republicans are very proud to be American. Hang on. Can I try this without stumbling over my words? Without starmering over my words? Republicans are 90% saying they're very proud to be American. Democrats, 29%. Yeah, that's a third. A strong minority. Carolyn Levitt commentary account said this Muslim truck driver ignores the clearance sign and smashes into the Walmart pharmacy canopy. Just driving off is like all the wreckage and carnage and spraying water. I don't know if all that's verified or not, but yeah, commercial driver's license should have very strict info. Oh, yeah. I did see that one. Yes. Where Trump's dancing in the background to Starmer crying up there. Kenneth is good as early as 10 a.m. Whistleblower, registered nurse Kimberly Overton exposing the truth. In her opinion, patients didn't die of COVID. They were killed by hospital protocols, remdesivir, and ventilators in the denial of life-saving treatments. Go to cdc.gov, who.int, and cisa.gov/rumor control for countervailing views. So something's going on with Senator Kennedy, Langford, and Thune up for re-election in 28. They might be advocating against approving the Save America Act. That's not okay. Ari Fleischer, stop calling them Democratic socialists. I don't care if they're red, white, blue, polka dotted, or Democratic socialists. They're socialists, and that's the problem. Majority Muslim City Council in Michigan votes to permanently ban the LGB, etc. pride flag on public property. White liberal women who welcomed refugees from Islamic countries are now wondering what happened. That's called consequences of suicidal empathy coming to a leftist town near you. Bo Loudon says, ever since President Trump shut down U.S. aid, DNC went broke. Peru's conservative leader won. Chile, Bolivia, Ecuador, Honduras, and Colombia's conservative leader won. Look at the money difference here. $124 million for Republicans as of April 30th, 26. DNC is negative $3.1 million. We are not a 51-49 country. We're not 55-45. It's about 80-20. And it's about time we act like it. Fencing going around the Lincoln Memorial reflecting pool. Rabid leftists refuse to stop tampering with it, says Nick Sorter. Fencing will stay up until their vandalism is complete. Yeah, and you know what the Democrats did? They put fencing up around the White House after they stole our country in a coup. Under duress, go find countervailing views on anything regarding elections at cisa.gov/rumor control. They'll say 2020 was free and fair and 81 million totally legitimate votes proved it. I'm being forced to do that. What time this evening? Nine. No, I'm not telling you no in German. I'm saying 9 p.m. I will set it up. I will try to, I will aim at 9 p.m. I've got an idea. I'm going to try. I got 3 things to do. If I can, well, I got 1, 2, 3, 4 things to do. 9 p.m. Foreign-born leftist judge Sparkle Suknanen is facing massive calls to be impeached and removed from the bench after basically declaring herself president and protecting illegal aliens' opportunity to vote nationwide. By decree of her, President Trump can't strengthen the SAVE system to verify citizenship. Stop letting invaders destroy your country, says Eric Daughtry. Oh, look, a Pakistani named Mohammed working in a British hospital tried to abuse an 11-year-old girl and take her to the woods, then pathetically starts crying, begging for forgiveness. You know, forgiveness you get if you're trying to harm a kid? The gallows. Right? We don't tolerate that kind of crap here, sir. Kenneth? No, I'm in Australia, America, Dad. Here in America, we don't tolerate that kind of crap, sir. No, you diddle a kid, you should. Ooh, there's a phrase. Orthos is good. Don't leave your cave without a club, but I like if you diddle, you dangle. Diddle a kid, dangle from a rope. If we can't protect our kids from being abused by monsters, we don't have a society. If you diddle, you dangle. Woman emptied Nick's trash can on the street at the parade, then stole it, and she's now been fired from JP Morgan Chase. This fat slob was a DEI executive, says Linda Moynihan. I don't know if she was DEI, but she's a fat slob who also trashy lady, literally. Flipped the trash can upside down, knocked it all over the place, and took the trash can. I mean, it's a cool souvenir, but it cost you your job. Biden-appointed judge is siding with illegal aliens, saying ICE can't arrest them in a court. What? They don't want any enforcement, so there's that. Okay, one of our top headline stories, Antifa shooters who targeted ICE agents get a collective 450 years for ambushing an ICE detention facility with gunfire. Benjamin Hanil Song received 100 years. Where's he at? Where's the dopey piece of I think it's this guy. 100 years. Marcelo Rueda, 70 years. And the rest, 50 years, 50 years, 50 years. And got 30 years. They threw the book at him. North Texas Antifa terror cell. 450 years. Good. Oh, how did that switch from left to right? Sorry about that. Yeah, but what time? Let's go for 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. Let me try doing 2 shows. Dina said when her daughter was little, told her if a boy hits you, you hit him back. Her kindergarten teacher didn't like that. Well, tough shit. We're not going to be abused. Anybody. Yes, never leave your cave without your club. Yes, I brought up dangling participles, dangling participants, twice today. Oh, yeah, that lady should be sentenced to go pick up litter for a month or 2. Anyway, they threw the book at him. They took the life of one ICE member, I believe. Democrats in New York are trying to bring Islam into the halls of Congress. Won our Democratic primary for New York 13. They're conquering us before our eyes, says Libs of TikTok. We'll expand on that later. Residents in Brooklyn are complaining they are forced to listen to this Islamic call to prayer. For the love of God. Hochul and Mamdani Sanctuary, New York, shielded an illegal migrant who arred a corpse on a subway. And DHS demands that they hand him over. Oh. Yeah, you're getting conquered. You lost Minnesota. You're losing New York. They're coming after Texas. Mike Bale says Democrats think they're using Muslims to usher in socialism. Truth is, Muslims are using Democrats to usher in Islam. Just well said. Mamdani endorsed Aber Quaz, won the Democrat primary tonight for a Senate seat. She says 9/11 was America's fault because of our system of capitalism and racism and white supremacy and Islamophobia. Cool. When they tell you who they are, listen. Republican Senator Bill Cassidy says it's time to give up on the SAVE Act. No, let's just give up on Senator Bill Cassidy, please. Mamdani's Communist Party chanting, yelling at Hakeem Jeffries after all 3 socialists win their congressional races. He's lost control of the party. It's Mamdani's Communist Party now. All right. Keep your eyes peeled. We might have national carry reciprocity. It's well overdue.
The NRA, everybody, they really have been. They've been with me right from the beginning. And Bill asked me, would I support the national right to carry legislation? How do you feel about national right to carry?
We're for it because it's ridiculous. Your rights don't stop at state lines. The mastermind of the ICE ambush, 100-year sentence we told you about. Nationwide injunction blocking ICE from arresting suspected illegal immigrants at immigration courthouses. Bill Malugin put that out. Do insane rulings really need to be followed? I don't know if that's... I don't know. Do we really... Like, that's just insane, is it not? President Trump will present the World Cup trophy to the winner. The downed U.S. pilot reported seeing Iranian drones swarm in a jellyfish formation from back in April. Firings now underway at the office of DNI. So it's a reset over there. Who is this? Kate Zachariah joining Truth Social, Trump Media Technology Group. There's one video I want to show you. I'm looking for it. I don't see it, but I know I shared it. Let me try to search real quick because this is about, let's see. President Trump turns up the pressure on Senate Republicans. There we go. We'll end on this story. By the way, hit the thumbs up button, hit like, hit subscribe, share the show with your friends. Consider dropping a Rumble Rant tip or a Super Chat tip or becoming a monthly sponsor on Rumble, YouTube, or Patreon, or all three. You set it and forget it, and it's like, hey, here's $5 a month. It's $60 a year. That's no big deal. That's one night out at Taco Bell. Go get a couple burgers and a couple drinks, and you're going to be past $60. I can stretch that out over 12 months if I like something. Since every streaming app is $15 a month. I mean, you know, what's one more? Yeah, I'll be live tonight at 9. I'll do it that way. I'll do it. Okay, so President Trump turned up the pressure on Senate Republicans hours before meeting with GOP senators in Capitol Hill, says Fox News. The president canceled a White House signing ceremony for a bipartisan housing bill and issued an ultimatum. No signing until Congress passes the Save America Act. The move puts Trump's growing frustration with Senate Republicans on full display. While the housing bill passed in both chambers of Congress with overwhelming bipartisan support, GOP leaders repeatedly said they don't have the votes to advance the Save America Act and have resisted calls to eliminate the filibuster. The Save America Act would overhaul elections in all 50 states and add new proof of citizenship and voter ID requirements, which Trump has repeatedly hailed as a very popular policy and common ground between both sides of the aisle. Now the president is publicly challenging Republicans to find a way forward. Get it done. Oh, fun. I experienced this weird glitch again, as I did yesterday. See that? Look, nothing. Oh, this is so weird. No, 9 Eastern would be 8 Central. 9 Eastern is 8 Central. Man, I'm really locking in this 9 o'clock. I just have to shift it in my brain where I can consider doing it. Well, look, I did a 2-hour show. This was a full show. And there will be plenty of more news in 7 more hours to talk about. That is kind of how it goes. Yes, I talk Eastern, correct. Kenneth, 9 is past me old man bedtime. But if I do one at 7 in the morning or 9 in the morning, that's going to be before I don't have to leave the noon spot, but I don't know that noon. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm very used to noon, but what if I did it at 8? 9's kind of late. I really don't stay up I do stay up till midnight. But it's kind of in those evening hours that I'm scrolling and I'm finding the stories to talk about for the next show. I'm getting confused, methinks. Let's go for 9 o'clock Eastern time. I'll be back and we'll do something in the evening. How about that, folks? How about that? I've had a lot of people saying you should do it. You should have always been doing evening. People are working during the day. They can't check out your show live. You'll get higher views if you do it live in the evenings. Even in the mornings would be better than middle of the day when everyone's working and they can't really listen. They have to stay focused at work. 99 left-wing balloons float by. All right. Yeah, we're going to aim at 9 p.m. Eastern time for the evening show, the TNAM night show. Ah, boy. It's going to now I'm thinking about it. It's going to require me to thinking. So I don't need to bore you with the details. There's just logistical things that I got to kind of sort out. Unless I could, that would be helpful. Yeah. I'm going to aim at 9 o'clock, and I hope to see you this evening. I appreciate you all for being here, every one of you. Like David says, everyone take care. Have a blessed day. Stay frosty. Signing out on behalf of everybody out there in the TNAM universe. I appreciate you. I love you, and we'll talk to you again soon. Take care, everybody. Deuces.
Your guide to the truth. TheNewAmericanMedia.com.